Welcome in to Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside John Epps. Jerel Hendricks on the board as always here for our Week 3 preview show. John, last week was a monster week, and this week is pretty darn good too.
Oh, yeah, there were a ton of heavy matchups last week. Got some interesting ball games we got this week where, not really sure where to go. A lot of 4A, 5A type games, cross classification. It always throws a variable into it that's tough to predict.
Yeah, a lot of big ones to pick from. I had a hard time kind of narrowing down our games of the week. We probably could have had 6, 7, 8, but should be a lot of fun to break those down today. As always, guys, appreciate you checking us out. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin Chains. That's MOVINCHAINS. Our website, movinchains.com. Our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Our weekly preview show comes out Tuesday nights on 7:15 live on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to tune into that like you're doing right now to talk some ball with us. We have teams of the week, players of the week, all kinds of great stuff, coach interviews, player interviews to come out throughout the rest of the week, so make sure you tune into that as well. Right now, get your Moving the Chains merch. Support the boys. We've got some great hats right now, Richardson hats, black front, gray front. You see the black one up there. Different colored backs as well. Really high-quality stuff. Richardson makes the best hats. We got some here for you, Moving the Chains. We've got some toboggans, a gray toboggan, a black toboggan for those winter months coming up here. Our Moving the Chains stickers. Order them right now, man. It looks great on your car, your laptop, your Yeti cup, your tumbler, whatever. Get you one of those. We've got T-shirts as well, black T-shirts, gray T-shirts, pink T-shirts, navy blue T-shirts, whatever you guys need. Order yours. You can email info@movinchains.com or DM us on any social media platforms. We got pictures of these up on our social platforms as well. So make sure you order yours today. And then hoodies, kind of this off-white, heather gray color, along with some a little bit darker gray as well. Make sure you get those now. Support the boys. Love to see you guys rocking our merch at some of these games across the state of South Carolina. John, any other thoughts as we get ready to roll into week 3 here? Like I said, a stacked lineup again here.
Yeah, we saw and we'll get to our poll later, but we saw a big shakeup in the media poll. And, I think it's just a little microcosm of football across the state. There's some big-time programs that are usually really good I'm not so sure about this year. Yeah. And that gives way for some other programs, some other teams to step up that maybe not been in the limelight so much last few years. So that's exciting.
Kevron, good joining you, man. Appreciate you being in here with us as always. Go Gray Collegiate and beat Dutch Fork, he says. It's going to be a tough task for the War Eagles, but hey, they are got a big win over Marlboro County last week, so they're playing better football. Wolfman says huge games in Aiken County this week. Can't wait for it. Yes, there are. Jackets Nest will be packed. And certainly we'll talk about that here in a minute, Wolfman. That is a big one. Terrence says, good evening, guys. Hampton County in the house. We'll break that one down here in a minute as well. Terrence, big game for the Hurricanes and Coach Hannah here this Friday. Zach says, good evening, boys. Props to Newberry on Friday night. The legit 3A contender. Apologize to Chapman in advance because Clinton boys are pissed and ready to get back in the win column this week at home. Always a fun matchup with Chapman and Clinton getting after it. Should be fun. Brandon says, hey, guys, tough loss for Clinton last week to Newberry. Watch out for Newberry, the real deal. Hope we can rebound this week with win over Chapman. Yeah, Brandon, just like we said about Zach there, should be a fun game this Friday. Bill says, good seeing y'all. Appreciate you, Bill. Thank you for your help with the stats from Greenwood last week. Big win for those boys. Kevin Edie says, Louisville Lions don't sleep on us. We like Louisville. You'll see our poll in a little bit. We are high on those boys. Big win for Wilson, says D. Jacobs. That's right. The Tigers get a Monday night win over Dillon. Last-second comeback touchdown. Big win for them. Coach Rob says Heathwood, Hammond, a real good one. Hammond tough to beat. They snuck out, or I guess maybe not snuck, but they beat a good Porter Gal team last week. Should be a fun game there in the SCISA Midlands. Like John mentioned a minute ago, we'll have our CONA games the week here. We'll have a statewide scoreboard. Then we'll have our pick'em, our polls, first polls of the year, all kinds of great stuff coming for you guys. But, John, let's get rolling now with our CONA games of the week, 5 of the biggest games across the state. Let's start in Sumter County. Crestwood, 3-0, traveling to take on the 2-1 Sumter Gamecocks. Last year, Sumter, a big winner, 35-14 in this matchup. Crestwood demolished Kingstree 50-6 last week, John. Sumter, A big second half, 63-27. They win over the Myrtle Beach Seahawks. John, a fun rivalry game here. Two teams that, are kind of in that same area there, love getting after it. Who do you like in this Knights and Gamecocks matchup?
I would lean Sumter here. They're at home. They're the 5A team going against a 4A Crestwood school. But this doesn't seem to be the same Sumter team that we're used to. They scored 63, and that's great. The defense, I don't know if it's there. I don't know if the defense is that 27 points gave me a little bit of pause. Normally we're used to seeing Sumter winning games over teams like White Knoll 28-6, and they're losing. I'm concerned about the Gamecock defense. That scares me, especially with this Crestwood group. They're very athletic, and they have proven they can really put up some points on the board. I want to say Sumter because they're at home. They're the bigger squad. They're better program. I think Crestwood's the better team. I think Crestwood's going to go in there and they're going to win. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think the Knights are going to be able to put up some points. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to the wire. But I think Crestwood's just a better group in this ball game.
Crestwood, quarterback Merrick Yates, but they're really led by their rushing attack. Running back Calvin Walford, one of our players of the week back in week 1, had a huge game. But last Friday went 19 for 134, and then Jordan Gadsden went 10 for 93 and 3 touchdowns. Really getting done on the ground there. Receiver DB Jaden Martin had a big touchdown grab. Defensively, Martin had 2 picks. Deshaun Scriven had 2 picks, and Gamble had a pick and 2 TFLs, man. They're getting it done last week on both sides of football for head coach Roosevelt Nelson. Sumter in that big win. Quarterback Franklin Richardson goes 7 for 11 for 108 yards. Ran it 13 times for 66 more yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Running back Reggie Shannon, a big game, 24 carries for 245 and 4 TDs. They've got athlete Jameer Bay, defensively led by Javante Brown, 6 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a sack last week. Then Tymarius Thompson-Durant is a headhunter, big player on the back end for them. A key for me in this game, John, I was looking at the stats here. The first quarter, so far this season, the Gamecocks have averaged 14.7 points per game. In the first quarter, Crestwood averaging just 4.3. If Sumter can get a big lead, with their offense, the way they're going to grind it out, run the football, keep the clock rolling, not an easy team to come back against. So if Sumter can kind of mimic that and get the lead early on in this game, that could be a difference maker for Coach Barnes' bunch there.
Yes, certainly, get the home crowd on your side, get the atmosphere, get the fans into it. But it's a 4-quarter game. You gotta play the other 3 as well.
Certainly 2 teams that want to run the ball a lot. Like you said, the Sumter defense does not seem to be as good as in the past. They did play a really good second half. They may have shut out Myrtle Beach the second half. I can't remember, but they played first half very sketchy, obviously, there in that ball game. They got a new DC as Brian Wilson has gone over to Wilson now to be their head man. So maybe that's part of the shakeup there for the Gamecocks. But I like this Crestwood team, too, just like you do. I'm really high on them. I think they're a sneaky contender in 4A this year. I think Crestwood behind Calvin Walford, Jaden Martin, Deshaun Scriven, I think they get the win on the road over at Central Memorial Stadium. Great place to watch a game, though. Definitely go check it out. But I think we're both leaning Crestwood here, John, in this one. Jerel, who do you like? Who does the chat like in this big rivalry game over here in Sumter County?
Man, it gets a pick against you guys again. One of my favorite things to do. Going to go Sumter in this one. I love Crestwood, though. I love what they've been building there, what you mentioned under Coach Nelson there. This is a fantastic football team. But I just give that mental edge to the Sumter program. They're playing at home. It's they've kind of dominated that region, that county, and I just give them the mental edge, and I think they're going to win this football game. No more than that. I think it's just going to be that's what they've got going for them. I think this Crestwood team is much improved. It is a really solid program. Really love the players that they have, but I'm going with the Gamecocks here. And then we'll just jump into some of the comments, guys.
Yeah, and I think Sumter had won a ton of games in a row until I believe 2 years ago with Javon Martin. Crestwood winning and won a football game against Sumter. Obviously, Sumter got a win last year to get back on the right track, but they've obviously, kind of owned that rivalry just because they're the bigger school. But Crestwood, I think, has a real good shot this year. But yeah, Charles says Woodruff's a true powerhouse. Woodruff is playing good football. They were down 22-0 last week, rolled off 50 in a row against Emerald. Woodruff playing good football right now, Charles. Great point there. John says, good evening, guys. How about the Greenwood Eagles? Thriller against Dorman. It was a last-second touchdown pass, 2-point conversion to tie, and they win it in OT. Huge game from Jay Duncan and Tristan Lewis and Trey Crawford and those guys. The Eagles are the real deal. Some real good playmakers there for Coach Liner. Bulldog Brooks has Big ST in the building. We'll get to that one here in a minute, Bulldog. That's a huge game down there in Aiken County. Brian says Central Pageland in the house. Appreciate you, Brian. Central Pageland playing good football. Big win over Lamar last Friday night. Caden says Jerel Braves probably the toughest non-regional schedule in 2A. Took Marlboro County down to the wire and beat 5A Conway next week. Did all this without their starting running back. Yeah, they're playing great football. Got a big game against Darlington this week, but I think Jerel is poised for a deep 2A run. Great call there on the Braves.
Let's keep it rolling, guys. Zach, we'll get to your point there in a little bit.
The second CONA game of the week, going down a little bit to the low country here, John. Bluffton, the Bobcats at 3-0, taking on the undefeated 3-0 Hampton County Hurricanes. Bluffton, a big win over Savannah Country Day, 33-20 last week. Quarterback Aiden McCarthy, a Super 75 guy for us, 18 for 28, 459, 4 touchdowns, John. Running back Aiden Howell. Receivers, Cornell Warren, a UNC commit Super 75 guy, went 6 catches for 173, 2 touchdowns. Amari Patterson, 3 for 161 and 2 more touchdowns. Defensively, Malcolm Gordon, 11 tackles, 3 TFLs. Velasquez, 9 tackles, a TFL. Jacoby Saunders, 9 tackles, 2 TFLs. And the defensive lineman, Chris Dole, 7 tackles and 2 TFLs up front. Hampton County, a nice win over Silver Bluff, 32-21. Quarterback Terrell Grant, 9 for 12, 159, 2 touchdowns. Running back Jalen Singletary, 25 totes for 131, 3 touchdowns. Receivers Mathis and Saab both had a touchdown. Defensively, Blake, Polite, Singletary, and Mathis. Singletary and Mathis both had picks in that contest. The Bobcats, John, they're out for revenge. Hampton County won this game 50-36 last year. Do you like Bluffton? Who stays undefeated in this matchup here?
I tell you, I really like this Bluffton team. I think they got a good chance to run the table. This is a really talented group, some high-level talent. Hampton County is really, really good.
Yeah.
But the talent at Bluffton, there's only a handful of teams, I think, in the state can match their talent. This is a really good Bobcat team. If people don't have them on their radar, they're going to be on their radar pretty soon. I think Hampton County is going to be competitive in this game, but I think at the fourth quarter, Bluffton's going to pull away. If the athletes do what the athletes are expected to do, I see Bluffton pulling away in this game late.
I think it's kind of a testament of who can impose their will on the other team. Like Hampton County wants to run the football with Singletary. That's what they want to do for Coach Hanna there. Bluffton, they obviously want to air it out. I mean, they got the speed, the weapons outside with Warren and Patterson, and McCarthy can spin it, man. He can really, really throw the football well. It's one of those things where if you're Bluffton, I think you may have got snuck up on a little bit last year by Hampton County. You probably didn't see that coming, the way that game went there. I think they're better this year. I think they're ready this year. I like that team a lot, John. A program that's kind of been building, it feels like, to this point. They got the new head coach, Hayden Gregory, a couple of years ago, coming over from Georgia, has really built these guys into what I think, like you said, is probably a contender to make some noise in the lower state in 4A. I like Bluffton a lot. I like Hampton County a lot. I just think Bluffton, a few too many athletes on the outside here. I think they can line it up a little bit more than Hampton County can. It's really who can make a stop. I think Bluffton probably makes the first stop. I think they win this football game. I like Chris Dole up front on that D-line for the Bobcats. Jerel, comments from you or the chat on this Bluffton, Hampton County. Also, shout out, I forgot, well, we got a Bluffton hat here, guys. I kind of forget we had that up here. Did. We got that Bobcats hat up top, but yeah, it should be a fun game.
Yeah, apologies in advance to Terrence, man. Terrence has been a long-time supporter of ours, but yeah, I'm going to make it a clean sweep. I'm going with this Bluffton team as well. Like you mentioned, I think it's going to be a situation where last year they kind of got snuck up on, maybe underestimated one of the better programs in Hampton County, regardless of classification, and I don't think they're going to make that same mistake twice. So I like the athletes at Bluffton a little bit more, and it is contrasting styles. It seems like, you're going to air it out for Bluffton, and you want that ground pound game Coach Hanna's implemented there at Hampton County, and we always know those guys are big up front too. Don't let it fool you. They're a lower classification, but they get it done in the trenches as well. So should be a fun ball game to watch, but I'm going to make it a clean sweep and probably be stupid and go with Bluffton.
Hey, we're good at that, Jerel. We are good at that. Any comments from the chat on that game? Terrence says Hampton County by 14. a team that has shot up the polls for sure. If they win by 14 against Bluffton, I mean, they got to go straight to the top if they're not already there. Zach says the quarterback from Bluffton can absolutely spin it. Yes, he can. McCarthy is a big-time playmaker. A great call there, Zach, on that. Justin says Hampton County by 7. He likes the Hurricanes in that one. Terrence says same as last year. Watch. Hey, I'm ready. I'm looking forward to that game. Some big-time talent on both sides there in that matchup. Bamberg in the building says RT Kelly. The Red Raiders, huge win last week. One of our teams of the week. They knocked off Barnwell at home in a big win.
Let's keep it rolling, guys.
Our third CONA game of the week. Always a thrilling matchup here over in Football City, USA, John. We've got South Pointe at 2-1 taking on undefeated 3-0 Northwestern. Last year, the Trojans won this football game 28-14. John, South Pointe, both teams really have played a murderer's road to start the season. South Pointe opened up with Huff. They play Rock Hill. They get a win there, and they defeat West Charlotte in overtime 10-7 last week. Northwestern, they've played the likes of Ridgeview already. They beat South Florence 55-35 last week, dropping a speed limit there on the Bruins, which you don't see happen very often down there in Florence County. But South Pointe, they are led by Jazavian Currents, Mr. Football, hopeful, one of our Super 75 guys, South Carolina commit. He's a dual threat, plays defensive back, plays safety. He's also taken over at the quarterback spot for the Stallions lately. Can run it, can throw it. Running backs, R.J. Brown, Zamir Gordon-Miles. Receivers, Caden Watkins, Dallin Duncan, Malik Ratcliffe. Offensive lineman, Anthony Baxter's a Carolina commit. Defensively, Seth Tillman, defensive lineman, had 6 tackles, 2 TFLs last week. Bryson Ginn, 7 tackles, 2 TFLs. Defensive back, KJ Berg. I had him down for 18 tackles. That seems like a lot, but that's what the stat said. I don't know, John. On the flip side, Northwestern, quarterback Xavier Means. We had a lot of questions coming into the season, John. Who can replace Finley Polk? What can the Trojans do at that spot? Xavier Means has not missed a beat. He went 24 for 30, 253 touchdowns last week, and rushed 17 times for another 147 and 3 more touchdowns. He is getting it done on the ground and through the air. Running backs Quay Mobley and Smith. Receiver Cam Vance, 13 catches of 105, a touchdown, and a kickoff return touchdown. Also got Spurgeon out wide. Really good offensive line. We know that. Defensively, Tamarian Watkins, the Texas A&M commits, a stud for them. Jeremiah Cannon, Cameron McFadden are all playing well for Coach Walford there. John, what do you see in this game, man? It's two teams that obviously there's a big rivalry there. Two of the better programs in the state. Can South Pointe slow down Northwestern enough to win this football game? I think is really the key to me.
Yeah, the way I see it is, obviously we have 2 great teams, 2 great programs, a lot on the line, battle for Rock Hill right now. I think the South Pointe defense is going to be able to keep them in this ball game. I just don't know that I'm not sure the South Pointe offense is going to be dynamic enough to score enough points to win this game. I think Northwestern, they lost so much. Talk about losing Finley Polk last year. It seems like they're losing guys, Division I guys, every year. And the next year, we have new names. We have guys stepping up. Vance is a great player to watch out there. Inside, coming across the middle, he's a fearless wide receiver. He's quick. He's tough. I think there's just a little bit too much for Northwestern offensively for South Pointe to be able to keep up. I think it's a low-scoring game, relatively low-scoring game, but I think Northwestern just has, kind of like this Bluffton-Hampton County game, I think there's just a couple of too many weapons on the Northwestern side. And not that South Pointe doesn't have them. I think Northwestern's just got a couple more. Should be a great game. Intensity is going to be high. It's going to be a great atmosphere. If you're anywhere around York County, go to this game on Friday night.
You mentioned South Pointe offensively, and they have struggled some. They obviously played good teams, of course, but they have not scored more than 28 points in 3 games so far, and that was against Rock Hill. They've scored, I think, 10. I believe the other 2 games, I think it is, against Huff and then West Charlotte last week. They made the quarterback change. Cam McMillan started the season at quarterback. He was removed at halftime of the first game. Currents has stepped in, kind of taken over. Cam is actually transferred out of the program now. McMillan will be going over to Keenan here, I believe it is. So a bit of a odd situation there for the Stallions and Coach Collins. On the Northwestern side, I mentioned it again, South Florence, we talked about this game against the Bruins and the Trojans last week. And we're like, South Florence defense is so good. Can they hold them in check? They couldn't at all. Northwestern ran for 319, passed for 250, had 569 total yards. Like, that doesn't happen to South Florence. It doesn't. And especially the way they ran the football in the second half was really impressive to me for what that Trojans group did. So I think, South Pointe, they have enough athletes on defense to make some stops. But you feel like if the Stallions want to win this football game, they still got to score at least 28. And I'm not sure if they can get there right now. That's what I just don't know if they've got the continuity and on offense to get to that point. So I like Northwestern as well. I think they just have too much firepower. I think the defense, too, for Northwestern is a little bit underrated. I think they've got a good defense, too. They got some good pieces there. Watkins, of course, is a stud. Can't wait to see him and Currents, meet up in the hole, see how that goes here at some point. That'll be a lot of fun to watch those two boys get at it. But one more point. You mentioned Cam Vance, John, has now had back-to-back games with a kickoff return for a touchdown. Can he keep that going this Friday? We shall see. That could be a key over at District 3 Stadium. Going to be a fun game, Football City, USA. Always fun when these guys get after it. But, Jerel, what do you like? John and I are both going the Trojans here over at D3 on Friday.
Yeah, I may sound stupid here again, but this might be the easiest pick of the week for me. Like, I'm going Northwestern. I told you guys after week 0, I'm not picking against Northwestern again.
I made the mistake last week. That was my one time. I'm done.
Yeah, and I know you guys did the same thing I did last week, and you paid for it. And I just think it's so crazy to think about Finley Polk leaving this program, and they might be more dynamic on offense than they were last year. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So, the reports that we heard over the summer about the speed and how good this Trojans program is on offense are coming into fruition here. I just don't like the fact that the quarterback, and as much as I love South Pointe, the quarterback position is kind of unsettled there. And the fact that Currents is having to step in that role, and especially not being able probably to focus on defense, where I think he's a better player on the defensive side. Just a fantastic jumbo athlete there, obviously Super 75 for us, but him having to step in and kind of take over that leadership, that quarterback spot that Cam filled in so well last year. Just give me Northwestern here. I think this one has the potential to kind of get out of hand. I think they win it big.
Yeah. So just what do you guys think here? So for South Pointe to win the game, like what do you think? Is it they've got to get 28? They got to get 35? I guess what is best case scenario you guys think for the Stallions here? Because like I said, I think they've got enough talent where they can. I don't see them giving up 60 Northwestern. I think Northwestern, will probably not score 60, but they might. I don't know. But, they've got the talent, the Stallions do, to make some plays on defense. But even when I say that, does that mean I don't know. I don't know.
We've seen it with Northwestern these last few years. You got to score 30+. To beat these guys, that's what it seems like.
Probably more than probably in the 40s.
I think for South Pointe, I think what you got to do is – I think you got to pick one. Defensively, you got to pick one. You got to say, hey, we're gonna make you run the ball, or we're gonna make you throw the ball. We're gonna take one away, and obviously easier said than done. You got Currents. You got one of the best defensive players in the state on your side. I think you do everything you can to take away the pass. Take away more than a 10-yard pass, and you make Northwestern run the football. You make them drive it down the field. It's tough for high school programs to do that. It's tough to run the ball. It's tough to move the ball 70, 80 yards down the field alone. I think you try your best to make them one-dimensional and making them run the football. That's going to shorten the game a little bit too. So if you can get a big play on special teams, a big play on defense, and you keep it close enough, there's your chance to win the ball game. Where I'm worried is South Pointe keeps up with them. But then we come back here, you and Jerel come on Sunday and you talk about, the Cam Vance punt return. And then, they broke another long pass and they win by 14 or they win by 17. Well, there's your difference. I think that's the key for the Stallions. You got to take one of the options away on offense if you can. That's another enormous question mark, right?
No doubt about it. Jerel, comments from the chat on this Football City USA rivalry. Brandon says tough one. He'll take South Pointe in a close one. Okay, Brandon. Justin says South Pointe 28-17. Wow. Got a couple Stallions picks already. South Pointe too deep in the skilled area. Okay.
Boy, Northwestern is very deep.
Zach says Northwestern big in that one. Najee says won't score 55 this week. LOL. Only thing is South Pointe can they score enough? Yeah, that's the question. I think, like we said, Najee, if you hold them to 35, can you get to 35 through the Stallions? And I don't know right now. Been struggling offensively against some good teams.
Great point, Najee.
Northwestern, yep, great point there. Brings South Point lost to Huff by 4. Huff's a great team, number 2 in North Carolina. That's true.
Wow.
That's true. But there's a decent chance Northwestern might be number 1 in South Carolina in the power rankings. So
yeah, maybe one in the Carolinas.
What's that?
Maybe one in the Carolinas.
Yeah. Chris, good seeing you, buddy. Appreciate you joining us as always, my man. Hi from Wilson, says Allie. Thank you for joining us.
That's all we have on this game. So we'll go to the next one. I think we got some people in here that are really looking forward to the next game. And Chris, hey, it's not my fault. Your Panthers kind of laid an egg this week. I just picked the games. I don't play them.
The 4th CONA game of the week, a pretty big one here, John. The Strom Thurmond Rebels at 2-0, traveling to the Jackets Nest, taking on the 3-0 North Augusta squad. Strom Thurmond coming off a bye. John, North Augusta, a big win, 51-21 over South Aiken. The Rebels, led by quarterback Bryshawn Lee, got a lot of folks who can carry the football right now. They got Mathis and Wigfall and Phillips and Rouse. Receiver DB Caleb Simpkins, a Super 75 guy for us. Receiver Shaheed Williams has played great so far this season as well. Defensively, Bryson Coleman, Braylon Searles, and Simpkins are doing a great job for Coach Webb. On that side of the football, North Augusta, 2 quarterbacks, which is a little bit of a worry for me. Quarterback Colin Tillman started last week, and they brought in A.J. Hillary the second half. Sounds like they want to continue to play both, which is, always a little bit of a scary situation there. But you got a running back like Michael Doe, Super 75 guy for us, makes it a lot easier. He had 3 touchdowns last week, John, for the season, 58 rushes, 537, 7 TDs so far through 3 games. Jaden Hatcher is a good backup. Malcolm Gaston, offensive lineman, just committed to Liberty last week for them. Receiver Isaiah Smith, defensively led by Davion McKinnis and Simeon Jones up front, playing really good on the defensive line. And then Dante Bell at the linebacker spot is a big-time player for Coach Bush's bunch as well. John, last year this was a tight football game. North Augusta won 14-7 over at the Peach Fields. Do you see a similar outcome this year? What do you think about the Rebels and the Yellow Jackets on Friday?
I think we might see more points this time around, but I think we're going to see a similar outcome. I think we're going to see a close game with North Augusta coming out on top. I've got 3 reasons why I think North Augusta wins this game. Number 1, we're talking about a 4A program going against a 2A program. North Augusta's got a little bit more depth on them. 2, we're going to the Jackets Nest. And number 3, I like that North Augusta's played 3 games. Strom Thurmond's only played 2. I think you can debate whether North Augusta's really played a tough competition yet. They haven't had a close game yet. But I like the fact that we're early in the year still. We're still getting comfortable, still building chemistry. I like that they've got that extra game under their belt, too. I like North Augusta in a close one.
Yeah, and I read some of Coach Bush's comments last week. They a little bit sloppy, he said, but when you win a game by 30 points, it's nice to win by 30 and still be sloppy. I mean, that's a pretty good win there for the Yellow Jackets. I will say the 2 quarterback situation kind of worries me a little bit for the Yellow Jackets. And this feels like maybe a game where one guy kind of takes the reins. Maybe it's Hillary, maybe it's Tillman. I don't know. Maybe one of them says, hey, this is my job. I'm going to be the guy. We'll see how that shakes out. But on the Strom Thurmond side, you mentioned it, only 2 games, have not played a close game yet, haven't really played a big-time opponent yet. They're outscoring their opposition 105-6 so far through 2 games, so have not really been tested. I think North Augusta, obviously they want to run the ball at Doe. That's what they want to do. They're going to need, I think, a little bit of help from the quarterback, either Hillary or Tillman. Somebody's got to make a couple plays on the outside, a couple plays on the edge there to give Doe some more space. Obviously, he's a stud running back, but you need somebody on the edge to kind of make it where Strom Thurmond can't just stack the box because they want to do that. Going to be a fun matchup. Like you said, I think we're seeing more points than last year, 14-7. I don't think we're going to see that again. I think we'll see more points, a little more high scoring in this one. But I think at home, I think the Yellow Jackets too much firepower. I think, like I said, a little too much size up front, especially the defensive line. I love McKinnis and I love Jones. I think that side of the ball has played well. Last week, blocked a punt, forced a safety. They're playing good on defense. I think the Yellow Jackets defense leads them to a win in this one, but I think it should be a fun football game. Jerel, who do you like in this one? 2 teams that get the chatter going for sure down there in Aiken County. Going to be a fun one between the Yellow Jackets and the Rebels.
Well, here's the thing, man. I hope it's fun. We went to this game last year, and I think the highlight was that bologna sandwich that I ate. So hopefully we can get some more points going on there.
It was a little bit of a drag last year, right?
For sure. But no, I know the crowd's going to be in it. Like you said, Jackets Nest, this is always a good little rivalry type game down there. And I know it'll be electric environment. I like North Augusta in this one. It just feels like kind of their year to like make a real run at it. Not to say that Thurmond's not going to, but I really like this North Augusta team this year. I think they lean on Michael Doe and really get it done, not just in this game, but throughout the season. Really like this Thurmond team. Obviously, we all do, as we'll show you guys in our poll a little bit later. Yeah. But I just like North Augusta a little bit more in this one. I just hope it's a more entertaining game, some more points scored, and a lot more fun for the fans who are in attendance.
Yeah, and if you're going, make sure you get there early. They still got kind of a parking situation going on there. We're doing some construction, so make sure you get there early to get a good parking spot, get in the game. Plenty of time in advance. Marie says Rebels. What else we got there? Now he says, love that North Augusta helmet. Yeah, appreciate Coach Bush and the boys there for getting that over to us. It looks great in the background. Bulldog says Rebels as well. Game we won in the trenches, says Zach. Najee says North Augusta big. He likes in that one. Travis says Rebels as well. Wolfman, North Augusta defense playing elite ball. Offense almost there, but the two quarters feels like it's messed up the pace of offense. Yeah, I think so too. Like I think the defense is playing that good on the offensive side. You got to figure out a quarterback. And I know you want to give both guys a fair shot and figure it out. But if you're Coach Bush, you hope that somebody takes the reins. It makes it where you have to pick them. And this might be the game where that happens, but we shall see. Brandon says he loves Strom Thurmond because classmate Andrew Webb is the head coach there, but takes North Augusta in this one. North Augusta to make a deep playoff run this year. And, I think, Brandon, both these teams we'll have in our top 5 probably in a minute. We like them both. Deuce says Rebels by 7. Justin has North Augusta 34-12. Bulldog says, if you can't pass against Strom Thurmond, you're in trouble. 28-17 Strom Thurmond, he is predicting there. And could be a key there. Strom Thurmond won't be deep enough, says Justin. Walter says, we smacking Thurmond on Friday, says Walter. Denolf, he's taking Coach Bush's boys there to win that one. Dion says 24-21 Strom Thurmond. Wolfman, North Augusta for state. Long way to go to get there, but certainly have some talent. Chris says, who got Gatlin versus Dubai this week? Well, Chris, which quarterback's playing? We need to know that first off, then we'll figure it out. The Indians need a week to reset there. Yeah, but like Bulldog said, Jerel and John, I think the passing game for North Augusta has to find something. We know what Doe can do, and we know that he's going to, put up numbers. But, you got to help him out a little bit. Somebody's going to make a play on the edge. You got to hit a receiver for a big game, whatever it is. You need Hillary or Tillman there to step up and make some plays outside. But I think North Augusta has a talent to do that. Should be a fun one.
For sure. Yeah, and that's all I got on this game, guys. So if you want to keep going, we'll keep going.
Our 5th CONA game of the week, our SCISA game of the week here. Colleton Prep at 3-1, taking on the 3-0 Calhoun Academy squad. Last year, Calhoun a big winner, 55-28 in this one, John. Last week, Colleton Prep 44-8 over Andrew Jackson. Quarterback Cale Owens, a touchdown rush and a touchdown pass. Running back Tanner Wolf ran for 3 scores. Calhoun 40-21 over Thomas Sumter. Colt Layton ran for a touchdown. Cale Parler ran for 3 touchdowns. And defensively, Parler, Taylor, and Dayton Birkland got it done for the Saints. I like Calhoun. I think Calhoun's a really a deep team cut out for a deep 2A playoff run. I like Colleton Prep as well in 1A. They had a big win over Thomas Hayward a couple weeks back. That was really impressive to me there. But I think Calhoun Academy, a little bit bigger, a little more depth. I like them to make a big win on Friday and make a deep run to the playoffs here in 2A. Oh, John, we lost your volume there, John. Jerel, do you hear John?
We're back.
We're back.
2 good offenses here.
Mm-hmm.
I like Calhoun's offense a little bit more, and they're at home, and they have a little more depth. I'm going Calhoun in this one.
Jerel, who do you like in this one? Colleton Prep out of Walterboro against Calhoun out of St. Matthews. Just as Colleton Prep in a close one, 21-14.
Yeah, Calhoun, I'm going to stick with you guys as well. You're the experts here. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that, make it a clean sweep. I think they get it done. Hopefully it is a close win. I hope we have a good game here.
Yeah, Colleton Prep, great mascot, the Warhawks. That's a great team name there. So should be a fun game. But once again, our 5 CONA games of the week, we've got Crestwood at Sumter, Bluffton at Hampton County, South Pointe at Northwestern, Strom Thurmond at North Augusta, and Colleton Prep at Calhoun Academy for our SCISA game of the week. As always, folks, if you tuned in late, if you missed one of those games, you can go back to the beginning of the show. Once we finish here, it'll be on Facebook and YouTube. Go check those out. But, Jerel, let's shout out some friends of the program, and we'll come back and start going through the rest of the statewide slate.
Everyday life means everyday expenses. Spend smarter with a Founders Federal Credit Union credit card, offering you low rates and big rewards where it matters most. Enjoy all the benefits of saving while using your Founders Essential MasterCard. Make every swipe and tap count with smart rates, big rewards on select cards, and no balance transfer or annual fees. Because your money should go where you want it to. That's the power of Founders Federal Credit Union. Apply today at foundersfcu.com. Relax. You're with Founders.
With 3 convenient locations in Spartanburg, Duncan, and Greenville, Carolina Orthopaedic and Neurosurgical Associates, CONA, offers the most advanced training and experience in orthopedic surgery, neurosurgery, sports medicine, and pain management in the upstate. Go to CONA.care to learn more.
All right, John, let's take a look at the rest of the statewide slate, starting with 5A. I think we actually got a couple of Thursday games as well, I believe, do we not?
We do. We've got 2 Thursday night matchups. We got Nation Ford going to a winless Richland Northeast, and Spring Valley, a 2-1 Spring Valley team hosting Catawba Ridge on Thursday night. So 2 games right there in the Northeast Columbia area.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on there while they're both playing on Thursday. I don't know. But a couple notes here. I've actually got Spring Valley bringing back the green and gold steps at Harry Perron. So I think that was getting done this week. So really cool there for Coach Washington's boys, a team that's got a couple wins already after being winless, I believe, all of last season. So nice there for the Vikings.
And then on Friday night, we got Colleton County hosting RB Stall. Fort Dorchester at home against South Lawrence.
The Bruins trying to get back on the right track. Fort Dorchester 2-1 right now. Haven't really played anybody yet. I think the Bruins win big on the road here.
I think so too. And then we've got Marlboro County rather hosting Conway. That was Jerel that played Conway last week. We've got Greenwood hosting Lexington. Really good Greenwood group.
Greenwood is on fire right now. Huge win for Tristan Lewis and Coach Liner there last week, one of our players of the week. Lexington struggling lately. They've lost to Midland Valley, North Augusta back-to-back weeks there. Marlboro County, I saw we had a comment there from Anthony. Marlboro County, a tough loss to Gray Collegiate last week, but I think they'll be just fine. Conway's in a tough spot. I haven't looked at their schedule yet, John and Jerel, but 0-3 right now. They're going to be fighting for a win, I think, for a little bit here. So hopefully they pull one out at some point. But I think Marlboro County too much firepower this week in that one.
Yeah, probably not this week. We've got maybe the best 0-2 team in the state, Hartsville hosting Rock Hill. I think they're going to have a hard time this Friday as well. They could start 0-3, but they're still a good team. Don't sleep on those guys. Blythewood will be hosting Keenan. Woodmont at home against Woodruff. We talked about this game a little bit. Dutch Fork traveling to Gray. 2 really, really good programs there.
Gray Collegiate got their first win last week, beat Marlboro County. Dutch Fork kind of survived, actually had to have a comeback win against Ridgeview there. Have not played their best yet, and I'm sure Coach Knotts would say that as well. Offense did play well. Stone Furry, Jackson Knotts. I think they lost to running back Cole Martin is out for the year. I saw that, I believe, going into last week's game. But Dutch Fork, I'm sure they'll get it right. I feel good about that, but not playing their best here so far.
Yeah, well, and I tell you what, on the other side, I think Ridgeview is really, really good as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Ridgeview team. I got to watch a lot of this game on Friday. They've got a very good defense. They are sound tackling wise, and they're very good in the secondary too. That's a good group, and they got I believe it was their backup quarterback playing Friday. He's a pretty good player too. He played really smart. They're a good team.
That's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say about Ridgeview, man, doing this without Trey Howard is spectacular. Trey started since he was a freshman. Obviously, he's not going to be able to finish the season with a foot injury, but I have never been more impressed with the team losing, close games as much as I have with Ridgeview this season.
Moving on, we've got Fort Mill, a 3-0 Fort Mill team hosting Lancaster.
So it's, kind of peek behind the curtain here. I texted you guys this weekend. I was like, is Fort Mill good? Like are they they're 3-0. Like they beat a solid Blythewood team. Like I don't know what to make of them, but I mean, when's the last time Fort Mill was 3-0? It's been a long, long time. But hats off to Coach McNeely and that group, man. They are doing some good things right now. Gray Patterson, a linebacker, a UNC Charlotte commits, playing well for them. Fort Mill, the Yellow Jackets, hats off to them.
We'll have Westwood hosting Airport. Carolina Forest at 2-0 travels to WC Hawkins to take on Irmo.
Almost a game of the week here. Two undefeated squads. Carolina Forest defeated Hartsville and then New Hanover. Irmo, big win over Butler last week. They are playing great football. Jaden Bryant had a huge game defensively for them. Two defensive touchdowns last week, John. A fumble recovery and a pick six there. Dre Dobson is playing great on offense. They've got a lot of weapons. Malik Miller. Coach Brand's bunch is playing good football. I think we'll find out a lot more about Carolina Forest here this Friday.
I agree with that. Loris at home against North Myrtle Beach. Wren travels to TL Hanna.
A fun rivalry here. Wren, kind of a surprising loss. Gave up a lead against Powdersville last week. TL Hanna got back on the right side with the win over West Side. I need Wren to play well in this one. I'm high on this Wren team, and I was surprised by the way their defense played second half last week. Interesting to see how they bounce back against the Yellow Jackets.
I don't know if they get the win Friday, but I think Wren, don't write them off yet. Mm-hmm. Camden, they'll travel to Ridgeview, a Ridgeview team. I said Hartsville at 0-2 might be the best 0-2 team in the state. Ridgeview, and I think Oceanside might be 1-2 as well. Those are really good teams that are 1-2. Be interesting to see how this game shakes out. I expect Ridgeview to win. It'll be interesting to see how close Camden keeps this game, though.
Another game that I thought we'd consider for game of the week. Even though they're 1-2, Ridgeview's that good. Camden playing great football. They got a win over White Knoll already. Lugolf Elgin, they've got some big wins. Rip is playing great. Drakeford's playing great. Boykin's playing great. On the Ridgeview side, like you mentioned, John, quarterback Trey Howard out for the year now. The backup has stepped in, played really good for them. Got a lot of weapons outside, Sanders and Best and those guys. And, Ridgeview, we've said in this show, and obviously last week as well, when they had played Northwestern tight, like they have a good football team. Like Coach Howard's bunch is playing good football, but at some point you got to win a game. You got to win one of these games. And I think this is that week. If you're Ridgeview and you want to be considered one of the best in 5A, you got to win this football game. I think the Blazers have a good shot to do so.
Down the Low Country, Wanda will be hosting St. James. Clover at home against York.
Quick note there. This is the 112th meeting between Clover and York this Friday. So that'll be a lot of fun there as those two get together.
Did not know that. West Ashley on the road against Berkeley.
Got to see Berkeley in person on Friday. Quarterback Henry Rivers did not play against Somerville. I'm not sure if he'll be back or not. Berkeley, really it's with the way the state is set up, John, the non-region matchups don't really matter. So you don't want to, if he's banged up, don't risk it. So Coach Lodge's bunch will be just fine. They had some good pieces on defense and offense. I like what I saw out of it. Even in a loss, I think Berkeley wins this game, but still may not be quite at full strength. I saw a Go Blue Eagles there from Armani. Clover's playing good football right now, so hats off to them. Big comeback last week.
Wilson Tigers with a big win last night against Dillon. They host West Florence on Friday. We talked about this, one of our CONA games of the week. Northwestern hosting South Pointe. River Bluff at home against Gilbert. Cane Bay will be on the road against undefeated James Island. Stratford traveling to Socastee. Blue Ridge at home against Eastside.
Two undefeated teams there. Coach Wilcox's bunch is playing well for the Eagles there, and then Blue Ridge is getting it done as well right now, offensively especially. So it should be a fun game over there in Greenville County.
Lucy Beckham heads to Hanahan. Newberry will be hosting Chapin.
Newberry may be one of the most impressive teams we've seen this year, John. They are putting up huge offensive numbers every week. Kenton Caldwell is having a fantastic start. Has had multiple 5 or 6 touchdown games already. Chapin's in for a tough ball game. They got to step it up a little bit there. Don't have a win yet, but Newberry's playing great for Coach Jeter.
Yeah, I was really impressed with their game against Clinton. I was not expecting that outcome. We've got two teams that are 2-1, surprisingly, here at start of the season. Lugolf Elgin traveling to Aiken. One of these teams is going to be 3-1. That's a big deal for whoever wins on Friday.
It is. This game's in our pick'em. Coach Littlejohn stepping in as the interim there for Lugolf Elgin has done a great job. They've got a couple of nice wins, like you said already. Aiken, hadn't won in a couple of years, and they've got 2 wins already. So great job out there by Coach Hibbets. Love what they're doing. That team, I think they're pretty good, John. Tough loss to Hilton Head last week. Probably didn't play their best, but I like Padgett a lot. I love Meriwether defensive line, Gray Kitchens as well. I think that Aiken team is in for a couple more wins this year for sure.
I think so too. Oceanside will travel to Ashley Ridge. We talked about this one of our CONA games of the week in Sumter County. Crestwood going to Sumter, trying to preserve that undefeated record. And to close out 5A, Goose Creek hosting Beaufort. Somebody's going to get their first win in this one.
Yeah, and before we wrap up 5A too, back to that Oceanside Ashley Ridge game. If you want to see some athletes in the low country, offensive athletes especially, go check that one out. You get Ryan Campbell, Trevor Kalick, and those boys at Ashley Ridge. You get Monavian and Terrence Johnson at Oceanside Collegiate. Should be a fun offensive football game. I think Oceanside Collegiate a little too much firepower in this one, but could be a lot of points in that ball game. Jerel, comments from you or the chat on 5A. Glad to see you guys in Somerville. Yes, appreciate you joining us here. You know, we had a great time going down to check out the Green Wave at John McKissick Field last week. They got a bye this week, the Green Wave do. Was a lot of fun down there in Flowertown. Greenwood's going to spank Lexington, says Justin. Yeah, Lexington is not played great so far. The only worry with Greenwood is it kind of a letdown spot. Such a big game last week, such a big win, a lot of energy exerted in that one. Is it a letdown spot? I still think Tristan Lewis and boys are too powerful. I think the Eagles win. I think you're right there, Justin. Jonathan says, go Red Foxes, very young on defense. Hopefully string together something together, make a deep run on the postseason, Up 28-14 at half, but could not hold on. Yeah, a lot of new pieces there, new quarterback stepping in, a lot of new guys there. Coach Calabrese will coach them up. I'm sure they'll be just fine when region play rolls around. Camden says, Jessica, should be a fun game. The Bulldogs are undefeated, playing great football right now. Two good squads getting together on Friday night. Brandon says, Newberry big over Chapin. Yes, they are legit. Zach says, trust me, Newberry is. Surprise from stat line for Kenton Caldwell. Yeah, he's a stud. Well, so he already won Player of the Week once, Zach, so we're trying to double up. That's kind of our our process there. But, yeah, he had a huge game again on Friday. Playing great football now for the Bulldogs. What's up, Bradley? Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you joining us. Yeah, lots of good games this week. Certainly, I'm sure you can find one to tune into this Friday.
And just doing a little research on the back end, this Fort Mill team we will learn about over the coming weeks after they play Lancaster. This week, they go Catawba Ridge, Clover, Rock Hill, Northwestern. So
we will find out. We will find out.
We will learn very quickly if they are good or not. But that's all we have for 5A, guys. And let's jump to 4A.
Looking down at 4A now, John.
We'll start in the upstate. 3-0 Seneca hosting Walhalla. Jerel is on the road against Darlington. That's a good game there, too. I think it's in our pick'em. Darlington's off to a good start, beat Lamar, beat North Myrtle Beach. Jerel, obviously, a couple nice wins already as well over McBee, and I just had it on my tip of my tongue. Conway. Yep. Darlington, obviously, Jalen Augustus, the quarterback, is a stud for them. On the flip side, Jerel's got a lot of talent. Caden Thomas, Crawford Poole, Nick Gordon, a lot of guys there that are playing good football. A couple of injuries right now for the Braves that worries you a little bit, but should be a fun game between Coach Poole and Coach Johnson's squads on Friday. I think Darlington wins a close one, but I think that's okay if you're a Jerel Brave. They're going to be at it toward the end of the season. Yeah, and you'd rather be banged up now than when conference play and region and playoffs come around. So absolutely. Lakewood at home against East Clarendon. 3-0 East Clarendon too. That's right. Keep an eye on those boys. May River will travel to Brooklyn Casey. Belton Honeypath hosting an 0-2 West Side group. A fun rivalry there. I know West Side's gotten the better of them the last couple of years pretty handily. Interesting to see how they bounce back from a tough start of the season while BHP has looked like world beater so far this year. Yeah. We'll see AC Floor travel to Lawrence. That's a good AC Floor squad. Hardyville will be on the road against Hilton Head. Emerald on the road against Broome. South Aiken hosting Barnwell. That's going to be a good game right there. Yeah, and I believe South Aiken, the quarterback went out last week. Not sure if he's back. I believe it's Burns' last. I'm not sure if he's back in or not. Barnwell, tough loss on the road at Bamberg Earhart. Both teams looking for a bounce-back win. Got one of our CONA games of the week here. 3-0 Hampton County hosting 3-0 Bluffton. Head to the front end of the show to see the breakdown of that game. We've got Eastside on the road against Blue Ridge. Batesburg-Leesville will travel to Lower Richland. Intriguing game there. Batesburg-Leesville could not get anything going against Abbeville last week. They've got to find some kind of passing attack. We know what Wooden can do rushing the football, but they got to find some kind of compliment to him. And right now they don't have it. Lower Richland, Coach Taylor's bunch is always, a hard team to play against. They do a good job there. Interesting to see how the Panthers bounce back. Chris, there's no shoelace for you. You can go to Waffle House. That to me, oh man,
I do like Waffle House. No problem with Waffle House either. But going to be an interesting matchup there with the Panthers and the Diamond Hornets.
Greer will be hosting Burns.
Burns off of a bye week. I think they get some revenge after losing to Greer last year, first time in several years. I think the Rebels get a big win this Friday.
Gilbert on the road against River Bluff. Berea hosting Southside. Could be, whoever wins this game, could be their only win of the year. So that game's important for both of those squads.
Yeah.
Dreer will be on the road against Bishop England. We'll see Gray taking on Dutch Fork at home. One of our CONA games of the week, North Augusta hosting Strom Thurmond. Big one there for a big contingent of our friends of the show here. Carolina High will be at home against Fountain Inn.
That Fountain Inn team is 1-2. I think they're better than that. They've got a tough loss to Woodruff and a tough loss to Malden so far. I like Coach Nichols' bunch. I think the Fury, I think they're going to get hot here and run off some wins here in a row, I believe.
Yeah, they're a good group. They'll be fine, I think, this year. Year 2 of the program. St. Joseph's at home against Pickens, and we will see Hartsville hosting Rock Hill.
Jerel, comments from you or the chat on 4A. BHP 31-20, says Brandon. Justin says BHP crazy. Kelly, what are the best, most graded plays we've seen so far this season? I don't know if I've seen any trick plays yet. Trying to think.
I got nothing. We've been pretty vanilla the games I've been to.
I think the best thing special I've seen so far, and it's not a trick play, not really creative, but in the second half, to start the second half of the Louisville Hunter Kenner Tyler game, Louisville forced 3 turnovers in the first 4 minutes of that game.
Getting after it.
And the way that it was a tight defensive ball game in the first half, and then in the second half, the offenses really got loose. And really, that first 4 minutes of that third quarter really came to be the difference in that ball game.
She also bailed us out. She said, what are the best? So the best play I've seen so far, I love seeing athletes in space. Chew Harris from Burns. Saw him take a little drag route, little middle screen, about 70 yards to the house. So it was pretty impressive to see him get out in space and just leave everybody in the dust. It gets a really good Irmo defense, too. Yeah,
similar vein. I saw a middle screen to Jaden Kelly Murray last Friday night. He got loose for a long touchdown. That was super nice. And then I actually Berkeley had a 95-yard touchdown pass, kind of just on a go ball there. That was really cool to see as well. But hadn't seen a lot of trick plays yet, so we'll see how that shakes out. Wolfman says Midland Valley's been the cardiac kids the last couple weeks. We're finding ways to win. Finding the radar right now. Yeah, Xavier Jeter's doing a great job there for Coach Dorn's bunch. They're a team that is playing good football right now down there in Graniteville. What are our thoughts on Gray Dutch Fork, says Chris. Gray is an interesting team to me. I was surprised the way they played down at James Island. Didn't really see that coming. Nice win on the road at Marlboro County last week. I like Waller a lot. I like Williamson a lot in the backfield for them. Dutch Fork, I think, probably has too much talent right now. Like, they're not playing great. You don't think on that side either. But, Jackson Knott, Stone First, starting to figure out on offense. Defensively, the Silver Foxes will get better. I think Dutch Fork wins that football game.
Yeah, I think so too. Dutch Fork, maybe they're not in mid-season form yet, but I think one thing that is going to surprise some teams, and I think it surprised Ridgeview a little bit. I got to watch some of this game on Friday, or got to watch some highlights from this game. Jackson Knotts, he's got some wheels on him.
Yeah, he can move.
He can get down the field pretty quick.
Najee wanted to help you out, John. I know he's a big HKT fan, so we'll say they gave him
and
away.
They did. Najee, you're right. They kind of gave it away. I know they want some of those back, but they're still a really good team. They got some good speed on that group.
Awesome, guys. Let's go to 3A.
Looking down at 3A now, John.
Yeah, going to 3A. We've got Loris hosting North Myrtle Beach. McCormick at home against Fox Creek. Woodmont will be hosting Woodruff. Edisto travels to Orangeburg Wilkinson. Crescent hosting Mountain View. Carvers Bay on the road against Georgetown.
There's 3 teams in a row there, John. I want to mention Orangeburg Wilkinson for one, undefeated, kind of flying under the radar. I like that Bruins team a lot. Mountain View Prep, similar. Like, have not really played anybody yet, so like they haven't been talked about a ton. They're a good group there for Coach Ramsey. I love what they've got on offensive special with Haynesworth. The quarterback stepping in has done a great job for them as well. And then Carver's Bay, I've been kind of banging that drum a little bit. They're 3-0 right now, playing another rival, Georgetown, a Georgetown program that's in the same county there. I think Coach Richard's bunch goes to 4-0. I like the Bears a lot.
We got 2 0-3 teams here. You got Blacksburg traveling to Union. Marlboro County will be hosting Conway. Pendleton at home against Powdersville.
Intriguing game there because I think we know that Powdersville is pretty good. They lost a tough game to Seneca week 0, came back, beat Abbeville, beat Wren last week. But then Pendleton's a bit of a tough one to me to kind of figure out. Did not look great early on. And then they come back, they beat what I think is a pretty solid Keenan team. I don't really know. Like, they've got losses to Chesney and Woodmont, but they beat Keenan. I think Powdersville wins this game handily, but I guess we'll really find out more on Friday.
Yeah, I agree. I expect Powdersville to win this game. I think we'll learn more about Pendleton as the season goes. I'm the same as you. I'm just not sure what to think about the Bulldogs yet. Waccamaw will travel to Johnsonville. Ainer is at home against Greasy Floyd's. Swansea at home against Pelion.
2 undefeated squads there, which probably people would not have expected going into the season. Coach Helms and Coach Fox had their guys playing good football. I think Swansea a little too much right now. I think Pelion's still kind of a growing program. I think the Tigers there for Coach Fox get a win. I think maybe 4-0, I believe.
I like that Swansea program.
Mm-hmm.
North Charleston hosting St. John's. Clinton will be hosting Chapman. This will be a get-right game Friday night for the Red Devils.
Chapman is a team that I was banging the drum for them early on in the year. I was like, hey, I think they're much improved. Have not shown it yet. Hopefully they figure it out. I like what Coach Cab does there a bunch, but have not played good football yet. The Panthers have. But Clinton, it's tough to judge them, too, because they just played so many good teams. Like, they played a bigger school in Woodruff and a bigger school in Newberry. So Red Devils playing good. I think they'll be fine here. Brandon says Clinton will rebound and beat Chapman. So we'll see how that one goes on Friday.
Silver Bluff hosting Blackville Hilda. West Oak at home against Franklin County out of Georgia. We see Dillon try to get off the mat. They'll travel to Marion, and that will round out. Oh, wait, we got a few more. Blythewood hosting Keenan. Broome at home against Emerald. Battery Creek hosting Bethune-Bowman. Somebody will get their first win in that game. And Liberty at home against Palmetto.
Any comments from you or the chat on 3A, John? Or Jerel, sorry.
Now, the biggest thing for me is I'm intrigued by that Clinton-Chapman matchup. Chapman just has not been very good this year. But Clinton, they've struggled. And that's a team, I know they've played higher classification games, but these are games that we expect them to be contenders in. They've kind of lost by 2 scores plus. So I'm interested to see how they bounce back this week and see if they can get right and get back on track before they get into region play. But that's all we have. We'll go thank some friends of the program next.
Let's do it.
Schedule your sewer drain clearing with Preferred Home Services today. If we can't clear it, it's free.
Electrical, plumbing, cooling too.
Go, 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 Preferred!
Looking for top-notch sports gear and uniforms? Look no further than First Team Sports. With 30 years of serving the Carolinas, First Team Sports is your local full-service dealer. From youth teams to colleges, we've got you covered with team uniforms, staff apparel, Letterman jackets, sports equipment, and facility branding. Visit our local store in Greenville or firstteamsc.com. Make First Team your first choice.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on-the-go, the pick-up-and-go, and the I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.
Let's look down at the 2A ranks now, John.
Yeah, starting in 2A, American Leadership will be hosting Ridge Spring Minetta. Lamar at home against Lake City.
Surprising 0-3 Lake City squad to me. I think they're better than that, but I also think Lamar's better than 1-2 as well. They just play some tough competition, but I think there's some good athletes on the field in that ball game.
Yeah, I think that Lamar team is really good. Philip Simmons at home against Military Magnet. Eau Claire will travel to Williston Elko.
Williston Elko looking for their first win. I hope Allie's in here still. Hopefully they can get it soon, but Blue Devils off to a tough start.
Yeah, they got a chance. I'm not sure how good Eau Claire is. I know they're 2-1. They got a chance, and they're at home. That's a decent ride for those boys from Columbia. Whale Branch travels to Woodland. Lakewood at home against East Clarendon. Mullins at home against Latta.
I think it's a sneaky good game there. Mullins, kind of the darlings last year, had a nice season there. Started off, tough loss to Lakeview already this season, but I think they're still a good football team. Latta playing really good right now, 3-0 for Coach Eisman. I think the Vikings are the real deal in 1A. I think they win this game on the road against the Auks.
I think so too. Baptist Hill traveling to Academic Magnet. Abbeville will be hosting 96.
Abbeville, a great bounce back win last week. Come off the tough loss to Powdersville, they come back and they beat a good Batesburg Leesville team. Coach Nichols, we know that group is always going to be there. 96, I think, doesn't have enough to keep up with them this way. I think the Panthers win big.
I think so. I think 96 is maybe a better team than they've been last couple of years. They're going the right direction.
Yeah.
Buford will be home against McBee. Chapman, as we talked about, on the road against Clinton. Fairfield Central hosting Louisville. Two really good teams here. Obviously Fairfield Central in the higher classification, Louisville coming out of 1A. That'll be a fun game there.
Yeah, Fairfield Central replacing a ton from last year with Greer leaving. Boyd leaves right before the season starts there for Coach Demetrius. Is it Davis? Demetrius? I can't think of that name. Anyway, sorry, Fairfield Central replacing a lot. I still think they're a contender in 2A, but I'm really high on this Louisville team. I think the Lions are, they can go down there and make it and get a win.
We have Hemingway hosting Burke.
Hemingway is not playing football this year. Max Preps has got a boo-boo on that one.
Oh, okay. You're right. North Central traveling to Mid-Carolina. Landrum at home against Asheville Christian. Andrew Jackson at home against Andrews. Manning will travel to Ridgeland. Chesterfield at home against C.A. Johnson. Central Pageland at home against West Stanley out of North Carolina.
That Central team has looked really good so far. A couple nice wins, beat Lamar last week. Coach Easton's bunch put up some big numbers. I like what they're doing down there.
Chester at home against Saluda.
I feel like we have not talked about Saluda at all. And I just don't know a ton about them, honestly. Always a contender, it feels like, in 2A, but, new coach this year. I was a little bit worried. They lost some pieces. I know they've still got, I think Braden Williams at running back is still there for them, for Coach Warner, but just don't know. Chester obviously has played a tough schedule. They play Lancaster. They play, I think Catawba originally, I believe they played, and I can't remember who the third one was, another bigger show, maybe Fort Mill. Anyway, so they played a bunch of big boys as well. So record not great right now for Coach Floyd's bunch. I think they'll be there at the end.
Chesney will be at home against RS Central from across the border in North Carolina. Timberland at home against Kingstree.
Timberland knocked off Big Cross. I know that's a 1A school, but still a big win for Timberland. I think they're the real deal. I think they've got some talent for sure behind Desmond Green, obviously the O-line commit for Florida, but I think the Wolves are a good squad this year.
Very good group. Columbia at home against Great Falls. And we'll see South Aiken hosting Barnwell.
Any comments from you or the chat on 2A, Jerel?
I keep wrong layout. No, the biggest thing the comment that we had here, obviously Allie was asking about it, but I want to tell Kelly, man, you got to plug in. I've been scrolling my Twitter feed and I see everybody across the state of South Carolina getting offers from big time programs week in and week out. So I think we're finally getting the light that we deserve here in South Carolina. So scouts are all over the place looking at our guys. A little bit different than it used to be. They can watch a lot of that stuff digitally, but I think we're finally on the map.
Yeah. I
mean,
mean, just
more scouts at games.
Yeah. I mean, just this week we had Caden Ramsey commit to South Carolina. I think that was 2 days ago. We had Malcolm Gaston commit to Liberty last week. So some big time, some players getting looked at for sure. It's awesome to see
those duos from all those players from Somerville, the skill guys, they're getting big time offers. Running back there, Javen Williams and Jaden Kelly Murray getting Florida State offers and stuff like that. So,
I didn't want to say it. Friday night, Jaden Kelly Murray interview with Moving the Chain. Saturday, offer from Florida State. I don't know how that shakes out, but that's just
people watch.
It's interesting, isn't it? And, I think we'd be remiss if we don't touch on Braylon Staley. First game at Tennessee, gets freshman, SEC freshman. What was it? SEC freshman offensive player of the week.
Yeah.
I'm watching football Saturday night, and it's just littered with South Carolina guys. See Turbo Richard, having big game with Boston College, prime time. I think that game was on NBC. Awesome to see guys that played hard, put in that work here in the state, be in the spotlight on Saturday nights.
No doubt about it. Comment from Derek says Patterson's about to catch fire in region play. Receiver 11 and tight end 13 are big and fast. Underclassmen making a name. That offense is tough, Derek. I like what they're doing. I love the trigger man, Keegan Reed there. I love Tavius Williams. They got a lot of talent for Coach Muster, and then Coach Nimmer on defense is going to get it figured out. They haven't played their best on defense yet, but I'm sure they'll get it tightened up as region play rolls around for the Patriots.
Take it back.
Telling y'all, take your picks back. Hampton County is great. Hampton County is a good team. Like you'll see here in a minute in our poll, Terrence. We like that squad. Just think Bluffton is a really good squad this year. John says Union and Blacksburg. Any thoughts? Blacksburg is replacing a lot there for Coach Batchelor. You got the new quarterback coming in. A lot of new pieces to find, especially on offense. I do like some of their guys. I like is it Trayvon Clark? I believe is the kid I like a lot. He's a good athlete for them, doing a lot of things on both sides of the football. Union County, a team that year 2 for Coach Isom is trying to kind of build them up, trying to get them back to what they used to be. They've got a really good defensive lineman I like to watch a lot there for Union County, but still, I think they've got some work to do. The running back spot, you got Mills and Crosby and Bates, but Jalen Davis, that's the guy, defensive lineman Jalen Davis I like a lot. I think Union County wins at home for Coach Isom.
Silver Bluff, Black Teal. Did we touch on this one? I don't think we did.
I think we read it. I like Silver Bluff. I think obviously they got handled pretty well 2 weeks ago by Strom. Thurmond came back with a nice performance last week. Didn't win the ball game, but at least hung around there for a little bit. But I think Silver Bluff gets a win this week. What do you think, John and Jerel?
I agree.
I'll go with them. They've really cut their teeth so far this season.
Montreal, just salute. There's a lot of young athletes to watch out for. Yeah, and I'm excited because that's just one of the things where we just don't know the names of a bunch of these guys yet that are starting to kind of make some noise. You've had a bunch of guys that have graduated the last couple of years that we did know, obviously, and now I think Saluta's got some young pieces trying to step in there for Coach Warner. So excited to follow that Tigers program.
Kurt's got a good one.
Jordan Gore, Timberland, one to watch. Maryland, USC, Gamecocks, and Virginia Tech. I believe he's a receiver. Is that correct?
He's a 27. Yeah.
Got to keep an eye on. I think he went down to Florida with Desmond, I think, on Saturday. So excited to see a lot of these 1A, 2A guys too getting looks, which is really cool.
I got to shout out Kurt, man. Kurt does a fantastic job with all the video stuff that he does, but he also does a great job for 1A football. So, plug into him. He always keeps us updated on that. I love the work that he does. So appreciate what you do, Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt in the game. Great videos, great photos. A great job covering high school sports.
And Najee, hit us up. Hit the DMs up. We'll get something figured out for that interview. So we'll make it happen. Let's keep rolling, guys.
Perfect. Let's look down. Where are we at 1A now, John? What are we looking
We're
at?
We're at 1A.
1A. Let's look at 1A.
Yeah, we kick it off with Hannah Pamplico hosting Lee Central.
This game's in our pick'em. I'm kind of intrigued by this. Coach Woodbury's bunch of Hannah Pamplico has not looked great this year. A tough loss to Heathwood Hall back in week 0. Lee Central got a nice win. I believe it was last week there for Coach Danner. They've got some good pieces there. I think at Lee Central. I think the Stallions get a win, but it should be an interesting ball game down there.
We'll see Ware Shoals, undefeated Ware Shoals, will travel to Towns County out of state.
And I believe, didn't somebody tell us last week Towns County is not good? I think we
They're
heard
2-1.
that. Oh, well, I thought somebody said they weren't any good. Maybe
They might
I'm not
not
Georgia
be.
schools. I don't really care about those guys. That's whatever. Let's go Ware Shoals.
We'll have Ainer hosting Green Sea Floyds. Allendale Fairfax on the road against Wagner Sally. Denmark Olar hosting Hunter Kenner Tyler.
HKT, I think, gets a nice win here. Denmark Olar doesn't seem to be the same quite this year as they have in the past couple of years. I think HKT gets a win. Najee says, "Tell Kurt he ain't been to Decay yet this year." Come on, Kurt, you gotta freed up Najee.
That's a good team. That's a good team to see. Lakeview hosting Scotch Branch.
Lakeview's playing good football right now. I like what they're doing there. The Wild Gators look like the real deal.
Calhoun Falls will head to a Greenville charter school, Greenville Hurricanes.
And Calhoun Falls winning record 2-1 right now. I think they go to 3-1. Coach Theus does a great job with that bunch there. A tough program to be in, and he has done a good job getting them to be competitive and win some football games the last couple of years.
Blackville Hilda, a surprising 0-3 Blackville Hilda squad traveling to Silver Bluff. Bamberg Earhart on the road against an 0-3 Calhoun County. Surprising there.
Big Bamberg Earhart. I was worried. I think we all were too, John and Jerel. Last week we talked about this game against Barnwell. Like, hey, new quarterback steps in. Chanston Crosby has graduated. You got the new kid, Brian McMillan. What are they going to do? They've been fantastic. McMillan has been great. McGraw has been great for them. Marcus Ken hadn't started playing yet, and when he gets back, they'll even better. Coach Crosby's bunch is the real deal. They are a legit contender, a really good football team down there.
Yeah, I did not expect them to win last week, and they proved me wrong. We've got Whitmire. They'll be traveling to Greenwood Christian.
Whitmire's played good football as well this year. I like what Coach Campbell's bunch is doing. They've got a couple nice wins already. I like what they're doing there at the Wolverines.
Dixie at home against Clear Dot Charter. North Charleston hosting St. John's. And we wrap it up with Walkmall traveling to a 3-0 Johnsonville.
I think the Flashes are back, boys. I think the Flashes are back. But, Jerel, comments from you or the chat on the 1A slate?
Let's keep it rolling, guys. Let's go to SCISA.
Look down at SCISA now, John. See what we got in those games this week.
Yeah, on Friday night, we have got Bethesda will be traveling to Hilton Head Prep. Pinewood Prep will be on the road against Camden Military. Clarendon Hall against Orangeburg, at home against Orangeburg Prep, that is. Jefferson Davis Academy hosting Kings Academy. Heathwood Hall will travel to Hammond.
Kind of a surprising loss for Heathwood Hall to Florence Christian last week. I thought they'd win that football game, but lost a tight one there. Hammond continues to roll. They beat a good Portergale team 14-7 on the road. Like we said in the preview, John, last week, that defense is really good for the Skyhawks. Got to figure out the offense. A lot of new pieces they're kind of trying to fill out there, but once they get that offense clicking, they will be a tough, even tougher now than they are to beat.
Cathedral Academy at home against Palmetto Christian. Holly Hill Academy will head to Cross Academy. Northwood Academy, they're playing a co-op school. I don't know who these guys are.
I don't know who this is. I got no clue.
Carolina Academy will be on the road against St. John's.
Carolina off to a good start at 2-1 for Coach Rankin there. But the big news, St. John's Christian, just this week announced that the legendary coach, Dr. Jerry Brown, is stepping in, former of Berkeley fame and all that stuff, won state titles. Bruce Ellis also going to be on staff now for them. Not really sure why they had to step in. I don't know, but some big names added there for St. John's Christian, but still I think Carolina Academy, I think it's 2. I think they win this football game on the road.
First Baptist will be hosting Trinity Collegiate. Wilson Hall hosting Lawrence Manning.
This is a really fun rivalry game here. Two guys that good old-fashioned hate. Like, they don't like each other. These two schools they always get after it. Wilson Hall, quarterback Ford Wilder. You got Millen Galloway, Ben McLaurin playing football there for Coach Jarecki. I think Wilson Hall wins this football game.
Cardinal Newman will travel to Ben Lippen. Lee Academy hosting Buford Academy. Thomas Hayward on the road against Williamsburg.
A rematch of last year's 1A state title game. Thomas Hayward still searching for their first win. I think this Williamsburg team is really good. I like what they're doing there for Coach First.
Augusta Christian will be on the road against Dillon Christian. PD Academy travels to Florence. Today's Florence Christian. That is a big-time game since Florence is 3-0 now.
Yeah, they had a nice win over Heathwood last week. PD Academy coming off a bye last week. Intriguing to see what Coach King's bunch figured out. They had a tough loss to Williamsburg before that bye week. Not sure what they worked on in the off week. See what they were doing to install something new. We'll see how that shakes out. But always fun when those two teams get together.
Thomas Sumter is on the road against Spartanburg Christian. Hilton Head Christian hosting John Paul II. Colleton Prep on the road against Calhoun Academy. That is our CONA SCISA game of the week we talked about earlier in the show. Richard Wendt will travel to Lawrence Academy. Andrew Jackson Academy at home against Northside Christian. Patrick Henry Academy will travel to Dorchester Academy. And King Academy on the road against Newberry Academy.
Jerel, comments from you or the chat on the SCISA ranks. JD says, A-Town Panthers got redemption on base for Leesville. They did, and that game was, fairly close at the end scoreline, but I feel like Abbeville kind of dominated that football game. They played great over there at the pit in a tough environment, too, on Friday.
Trying to say something popped up, but we don't have any comments at the moment, guys. So,
well, perfect. Well, Jerel, let's shout out some friends of the program. We'll come back with our pick'em results, our first polls of the season as well, and a couple other pieces here on the program.
Everyday life means everyday expenses. Spend smarter with a Founders Federal Credit Union credit card, offering you low rates and big rewards where it matters most. Enjoy all the benefits of saving while using your Founders Essential MasterCard. Make every swipe and tap count with smart rates, big rewards on select cards, and no balance transfer or annual fees. Because your money should go where you want it to. That's the power of Founders Federal Credit Union. Apply today at foundersfcu.com. Relax. You're with Founders.
The George Agency has been serving the insurance needs of South Carolina for over 40 years. They're a full-line insurance agency concentrated in employee benefits and health insurance with an office in Mullins and Murrells Inlet, but they can help you all across the state. They have clients in Greer, Rock Hill, Columbia, and more, so wherever you are, they can help. Give Bradley, Wayne, Richard, and the crew a call or check them out online at thegeorgeagency.net. That's thegeorgeagency.net. Our Pick'em contest is always brought to you by our friends at Hannah Engineering. We do 11 games a week. A lot of fun to do that. We'll have our we'll start dropping a game here in a couple weeks, John, as well. But before we put these scores up here, Jerel, Jerel, myself.
Are we sure we want to put this up?
I think we got to go hands up. Bad showing from the boys last week. Home team struggled.
Embarrassing. Okay, I guess we'll do it.
I need a brown bag.
Sucked last week. Hand up, we sucked. But hats off to Rodney D, a Big 10 spot. Tons of nines. Andrew, BJ, Brett, Chris, Cody, Darian, David, Luke, Ryan, Travis, and Derek. And then myself with 6, John with 5, Jerel with 6. We were struggle butts last week, boys.
Terrible.
A lot of great showing from us, man. But a lot of fun. Hats off to Rodney and all everybody else who had a great week. Like I mentioned, do this every week, guys. It's a lot of fun to see and to keep up with guys across the state. Our overall leader so far, Andrew at 26, Jesse at 25, Rodney, David, Corey, Cal, Robin, Ryan at 24, and a bunch of 23s as well. I've got 22, John 20, and Jerel at 21. A lot of football still left to be played, so make sure you do this. Even if you missed the first couple weeks, still do it. We got a couple pop-up prizes we may have here throughout the week for some weekly winners, so certainly be sure you join that. That's on our social media pages. You can check it out, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want to get it. But as always, our pick'em brought to you by Hannah Engineering. And now, for the first time this season, guys, our polls powered by First Team Sports Center. Jerel will have the graphic drop tomorrow on social media. But if you want to, let's go ahead and read through our polls. Do you want to start with the 1A or the 5A ranks?
I got 5A pulled up, so we'll go 5A D1.
Let's walk through our 5A polls here.
Okay, we got a couple ties here, so bear with us here. And I hate not having a visual. Blame me for that one. But number 1, surprise, surprise, Dutch Fork. All 3 first place votes there. Number 2, we got Somerville. So we're trending towards that rematch there. Tied for 3rd. Some low country flavor here. We got James Island and Stratford. And then tied for 5th, Dorman and Ridgeview. So what do you guys think about that?
5A was, Division 1 and Division 2 both were one of the toughest ones for me to fill out because it just felt like they're so, I don't know, James Island's undefeated, but I don't really know how good they are. Ridgeview has looked as good as anybody, but they don't have the wins yet. They just can't, They haven't put it together. Tough to figure out some of these teams here in 5A.
Yeah, there's I like all of those teams you just mentioned, but yeah, they've got very different resumes at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And then Ridgeview, that's a thing. It's kind of it shows the mix. It's between results, potential, a power rankings, and a poll at the same time. So that's why we included them. Dorman, another team, man. They've been fantastic this year. Lost a tight one to Greenwood. I think they're much improved for Coach Morris there.
That week 0 win over Greenville is looking better and better for the Cavs every week. And they demolished that Greenville team that has now won back-to-back big games. Let's look down at 5A Division 2 now, Jerel.
Yeah, 5A D2. Again, surprise, surprise. We got Northwestern getting all 3 first-place votes here. Number 2, Irmo. So trending in that direction again for a rematch there. Number 3, we got Greenwood. And, man, boys, I am really high on this Greenwood squad, especially what they did last Friday. Got Berkeley at 4 and Greenville at 5 with White Knoll receiving some votes in the poll this time.
Another tough one. I think that the top 2 spots felt really good for me. I was like, all right, lock these 2 in. And after that, it was a little bit suspect. Greenwood, what do I do here? And it's tough for me to judge Berkeley. Like I said, I saw them last Friday without the quarterback. And they still, I thought they played well. They've got some good pieces around him. But your quarterback, it's hard to get a good feel for a team. But we'll see, obviously, once he gets healthy, how good the Stags are. But I think that 1 and 2 spot, we're pretty set with Northwestern Irmo.
Yeah, I wish we had 1 5A because I think there are 2, maybe 3 teams in Division II that are really, really good. And then that's a big step to everybody else.
Greenville was a surprise for me that was included in this one. I mean, week 0, they didn't look very hot, but they have really put it together the last 2 weeks. So the Red Raiders are playing good football. Guys, let's jump down to 4A. This one's split here, first place votes. Number 1, though, we got South Florence, even though they took one on the chin this past Friday. We got South Pointe at the 2 spot getting a first place vote. North Augusta at 3, Camden at 4, Crestwood at 5, and in the receiving votes category, we got Daniel and AC Flora.
A lot of options there in 4A, it felt like. Since there's not, it feels like there's not a team that's undefeated that I think is the best. Like you had to put either South Point or South Florence one, like one of those had to be one, even though they both got a loss right now. So it's kind of a tough toss up there between those two. But the back half is where I struggled there. Like I think I had Daniel on my poll. I was like, do I look at Camden or, do I look at like a Midland Valley? Where do I look for that 5 spot? I wasn't really sure, but it should be fun in 4A.
For sure. Let's jump down to 3A in this one. And we go against the media poll here. And that's why I like that we do this. We got Oceanside number 1, regardless of record. I think they're the best team still in 3A. They played that Irmo team within a touchdown. People are going to forget that.
Had a real chance to win that game. I mean,
exactly.
Real shot.
So throw the record out the window. This Oceanside bunch, when they schedule non-region, it's competitive. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I was going to say, I believe that Irmo game is the only in-state game that they've played, or in-state opponent.
Yeah, it is so far. Yeah.
So far. Number 2, we have a tie here with some uppers. Well, I guess not due to the way the playoffs shake out. But we got BHP and Newberry tied for second, MVP at 4. And we also have a tie for 5th with Loris and Woodruff, also including Powdersville receiving votes. Guys, with this one, all these teams that we just mentioned there, that just shows how competitive 3A has been so far.
And I think we talked about it in our season-long preview show where it's similar to last year where it feels like there are a lot of solid teams in 3A. Like, I mean, we only do 5 deep in our poll. This is one where I would have felt confident probably going 7, 8, even maybe 9, 10 deep if I had to. I think there's that many solid teams that I could have been okay ranking.
And I think Upper State is going to be really, really competitive. The Upper State playoff bracket is going to be really exciting to watch.
And I'll say, guys,
go ahead. No,
I was going to say, for me though, as competitive as these teams are, I think there's a big gap still between Oceanside and the rest of the field until I'm proven otherwise.
Agreed.
All right, let's jump to 2A, guys. Got surprising here coming into preseason, the rankings. We've got Thurmond at number 1 with 2 first place votes. Got Hampton County at number 2, also receiving a first place vote. Cheraw is 3rd. Central Pageland tied for 4th with Fairfield Central. Batesburg, Leesville, and Clinton receiving votes.
And what's crazy is that Strom Thurmond team that we have won wasn't even in the media preseason poll. They've only played 2 games, and we got them at 1. So I mean, I like what we're doing over here, guys. I'm just going to tell you, I like what we're doing here. I think 2A is the tough thing there is what do you do with Clinton? That's the tough one because they've played 3 bigger schools. Obviously, they beat Lawrence, but they had tough losses to Woodruff and Newberry, and it's hard to get a good read on how good they are compared to similar schools right now. But I think that's the one that we don't know about. And the same thing, Batesburg, Leesville, like they're a bit of a misnomer right now for me too. I'm a little surprised by how that game shook out last Friday.
Zach, they'll get back there.
And that's what Zach, and that's a hard thing about Clinton. Like, we know they're a good program. We know they're good. The issue with Clinton that I have is last week, they got beat bad. Like, that was not competitive. And I thought, that they would, as they have historically, be competitive in those ball games. And unfortunately they weren't. So that's why I personally left them out of my top 5 in favor of some of these other teams, but we know they're good. We'll be talking about them all year. If you guys want to, we'll jump down to 1A. 1A, back up there. Abbeville, 3 first place votes. Just an impressive showing this past week against Batesburg, Leesville. Number 2, we got Bamberg Earhart. Another great performance by them as well. Tied for 3rd is Cross in Lakeview. We got Louisville at 5 and Johnsonville receiving votes in our poll.
Yeah, and 1A was maybe the one that I felt the best about. I was like, I think there's probably 5, maybe 6 teams that can make a case to be in the top 5. And I was like, all right, I can work with that. So I felt good about 1A. Obviously, the order can be mixed around, but like we all kind of saw there. Like we all had similar teams in 1A.
Yeah, certainly so. Yeah, I think so. It's very, very similar, especially with the ties that we have right in the middle with Cross and Lakeview there. Louisville, Johnsonville, the Villes battling for that 5th spot. But I think right now, just Abbeville, clear cut. They just reestablished their dominance with that performance they had Friday night.
Yeah, so once again, our polls powered by First Team Sports Center. You'll see these go live tomorrow. They'll be on our social media pages. We'll post them on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Be sure to check those out. I want to shout out our teams of the week from Preferred Home Services. We had Greenville, the Red Raiders, Powdersville, Greenwood, and Bamberg Earhart. Great performances from all those guys last week. Our players of the week insured by the Georgia Agency. We had Tristan Lewis at Greenwood, Hunter O'Neill from Keenan, and Jaden Bryant from Irmo. All kinds of stuffing performances, record-breaking performances out of those guys. Great week from all three of those guys. Shout out to our sponsors, Preferred Home Services, Georgia Agency, and Hannah Engineering, and First Team Sports, too, for everything they've brought to us here lately. Any final thoughts, John Jerel, before we kind of wrap up here the program?
Let's look at some comments real quick before we
pop
we
comments in
here.
there. Sorry. Brandon says Clinton plays Daniel next week. Yeah, the non-region does not get any easier, does it, Brandon? Not going to be fun for the Red Devils. Terrence says, telling y'all Hampton County how we had him number 2 in our poll, I think, Jerel and John.
Yeah, number 2 receiving. That's what I wanted Terrence. I'm glad he hung on till the end of the show. I know we picked against him, against Bluffton this week, but we wanted him to know that we got them, up top in our poll. We think very highly of that Hampton County team.
Brian says Central Pageland is legit. They are. They've got some nice wins for sure. I'm really looking forward to that Central Pageland Jerel game here in Region Play. Going to be a lot of fun down the line. Brandon likes Cross in Lower State 1A. I'm partial to Bamberg Earhart right now, but Cross could certainly be one of the contenders. He thinks 2A is wide open. No clear favorites, Brandon. I agree there, too. A lot of teams I think are really good that will compete to make a deep run to Orangeburg. John says he saw a ranking today in South Carolina. Northwestern 1, Dutch Fork 2, Irmo 3. That's a power ranking there, John, of course. And all those teams are really good. And I think, that's why, like John said, would have loved if we had just one 5A right now. There's a lot of good teams. Would love to see them get after it. Courtney says, Big Bears tonight. BHP has looked as good as anybody so far, Courtney. They're playing great football.
Courtney must have lost a bet if he's got that Dolphins logo on his Facebook profile picture because they stunk yesterday. On Sunday.
They did. Ricky says Burns is a sleeper. Yeah, I like that Burns team too, Ricky. Got to figure out, I don't know. Obviously, the Irmo loss was a weird one for them. Irmo is a really good football team, but it felt like they got a couple pieces just not quite, fitting quite right yet for the Revs. But they are certainly a good football team. They'll get tested with Dorman and Gaffney and those guys here shortly. So we'll see how good they are. I think they've got a good squad for sure for Coach Shaw.
And Brian, that's one we got circled, that Central Jerel game. We've been talking to Coach Poole a couple years now about coming down there. So he's been trying to get us down there for a couple of years. So we're definitely working on it. And Courtney says he's sticking with his Dolphins, man. That's NFL fandom right there.
Hey, I respect it.
I love it. Well, guys, get your Moving the Chains merch. Got some great hats right now. Gray front, all kinds of different colored backs. Got a black front one as well up here somewhere. There it goes right there. As you can see, we got great T-shirts as well. Black T-shirt, gray T-shirt, navy blue, or pink for the ladies. Get you one now. Great hoodies as well. We got the darker gray, kind of the lighter, kind of stonish color as well. Get one of those. Some great toboggans, some great stickers. Whatever you want, order it right now. Support the boys. We have fast shipping too, as fast as the U.S. Postal Service will go. We'll get it to you pretty quickly here. So order some stuff. Support the boys. I'm looking forward to a little bit cooler weather. Get that hoodie going, John. It's a great piece of merch. Hopefully, you guys will order one too. Support us. Email info@movingchains.com or DM us on social media to get yours today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Once again, every Tuesday night is our preview show about 7:15 live on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everything at Moving Chains. MovingChains.com is our website. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. We've got coach interviews, player interviews, teams of the week, food reviews, all kinds of great stuff that comes out outside of the show. So hopefully you'll tune into that. Be sure to tell your friends to join us. It's a lot of fun when we get to talk with you guys. Y'all get to see teams that we don't. So love hearing from y'all throughout the program as well. Got a couple longer form coach interviews we're working on, getting those set up here for the next couple weeks. Hopefully, I'll tune in for that. But going to be a fun Friday, John. Week 3 looks really good again, man. Looking forward to catching some good football this week.
Yeah, awesome slate of games. Plenty to choose from. There's good games in the Midlands, good games in the Upper State, good games in the Low Country, all over the place. Yeah,
it was my first trip down to Somerville last Friday. Got to meet a lot of great folks from Somerville, Coach Magwood, Coach Rafferty, and a lot of folks there. A lot of Coach Lodge at Berkeley, all those guys there as well. Got to actually join the Berkeley radio crew for a little bit. Tim and Wayne and those guys. Marty got to hop on with them there in the third quarter and talk some ball, talk some moving the chains, talk some Berkeley Stags. So appreciate those guys. Go check them out. WTUA. You can tune in, obviously, on the radio or on the computer for all your Berkeley Stags action on Friday. They do a great job with the play-by-play. So shout out to those guys for having me on. Really enjoyed talking to them. But anything else from you, Jerel, or from you, John, as we shut down here in week 3?
Normal PSA for me, man. If you're watching us on a Tuesday, get your butts to a stadium around the state. Go support your local team, even if you're not a fan. If you got a bye week, that's no excuse. Go find a game. These guys work really, really hard week in and week out to produce, and I want you to go support your local community and go support everyone else that puts on great high school football for us to talk about. And go follow us on social, especially YouTube. Run that YouTube up.
No doubt. Any kind of final thoughts from you, John, here as we close down?
I'm ready to go. Thanks again for everybody tuning in tonight, and all the fans that we've got, all the followers that we've got. We've got over 200 people doing the pick-up, which is awesome. Love the interaction. That makes it so much more fun for us too.
Yeah, Moving the Chains is always brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. For Jerel Hendricks and John Epps, I'm Kevin Thomas. This has been our Week 3 preview show here on Moving the Chains. We'll catch you guys next week.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin' the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin' Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.